Hello, my name is Tracy Allen, and I want to welcome you to Cooking with Some Friends. Hello everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Some Friends. This looks like a lot, but it's really just 3 versions of kind of the same thing. We have another grab and go coming up tomorrow for the organization that I'm involved in, and one of the things that we each bring is some kind of a cheesy potato casserole, whatever you want to call it. So I am actually doing 3 different versions just so I can show you some of the options that you have. Now, all of these are wonderful, and I even have a couple more that I like to make. I make one that I bake my potatoes and make my own hash browns. But that's not this one, or any of these that I'm doing. So the first one I'm going to show you is a hash brown bake that I'm using disposable pans because I'm taking this somewhere. But I have my 9x13 and I've melted a half a cup of butter, and I'm going to pour that in and just swirl this around in the pan. I'll set this down off my bowl. And then to my hash browns, and I have shredded hash browns, and I have about 30 ounces, or you could use a 32-ounce bag if you want to. I've got those, and they're partially thawed, and this is just in my way. So I'm going to set that over here. Okay. So I have those hash browns in here, and to that I'm going to put in 2 cups of sour cream. And 2 cups of cheddar cheese, a can of cream of chicken soup, and on all of these I'm going to add about a half a cup of finely diced onion. Now this particular one you could actually add a whole cup if you really like onion. And maybe some of the people do that we're going to serve to, but I'm just adding a half a cup. Okay. So I have my onion that I'm going to put in. And all of these bake at 350, and 2 of them bake for about 50 to 55 minutes. The other one, I will tell you which one in a minute, it actually has to bake for over an hour, for about an hour and 10 minutes. So salt and pepper, and this is to taste. That way. So I'm going to mix these, just toss my hash browns in all of these ingredients, and then put this in that 9x13 that has the melted butter in it. I just want to make sure everything gets really well mixed up. This particular potato casserole, if you wanted to, you could crush up about 2 cups of Ritz crackers and take about a half a cup of melted, not a half cup, a 1/4 cup, a half a stick of melted butter, and mix those together and then put this on top. But if you're going to use the Ritz crackers on top, you need to make sure that you put foil over the top of it until the last 10 minutes or so of baking. Otherwise, those crackers will burn. Okay. Pretty well mixed. So I'm going to bring back my 9x13, and I'm going to dump this in there. The really nice thing about making potato casseroles too is you can go ahead and assemble them the day before and then go ahead and bake them just before you're going to be ready to serve. So I'll just even that out some in my pan. And then I have another cup of shredded cheddar for this one that's going to go over the top. Now most casseroles will be covered with something, whether it's crackers, cornflakes, more cheese, something just to kind of hold that moisture into the casserole. Cheddar, sprinkle it over the top, and then when I'm ready, this is ready to go in that 350-degree oven. And this particular one is going to go in for about 55 minutes. And the cheese will be melted and it'll be nice and bubbly, so you'll know it's done. Okay, so that's one of our potato casseroles. Set this one aside. And we'll go on to the next one. I set our first potato casserole or our hash brown bake aside and I covered it. So now I'm ready to go on to the second one. And this one is a copycat from Cracker Barrel, their hash brown casserole. And you start with 32 ounces of shredded hash browns. And you can add either 1 can of cream of chicken soup or 1 can of cheddar cheese soup. And we're going with cheddar cheese. And just like the other one, we have a half a cup of melted butter. But this one we dump in there instead of dumping it in the pan. And I do have my 9x13 that I sprayed. I have about a half a cup of finely diced onion. And this is another one of those. You can add more if you want to. I think the one at Cracker Barrel is really good, but I sometimes think it's has too strong of an onion flavor. So decreasing to half a cup would help. Some salt and pepper to taste. 2 cups of sour cream. 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. And you could use Colby cheese if you want to on this particular one. And I just want to mix those up. Again, just till they're really well combined. And then I have about a half a cup of that finely shredded cheddar that I've reserved over to the side, and that will go over the top of this before we bake it. And this one again will bake at 350, but this one only bakes for about 50 minutes. Pull this from the bottom. Potatoes have got to be one of my favorite foods, so all 3 of these particular potato casseroles I really like all 3 of them. If you're gonna bake them right away, I would go ahead and get my hash browns thawed even more. But since these are gonna sit in the refrigerator overnight, then they'll thaw some more in the refrigerator. Okay, I'm gonna put this in my number 13. Stuff it out of the bottom of my bowl. I want that spatula back. Again, just even them out a little bit. And then you're going to put on that half a cup of cheese. Okay, this one's ready to set aside. Put the lid on it in just a minute. But I want to show you our last one. Rinse my hands off. Okay, our last of the three, I'm using diced hash browns instead of the shredded hash browns. And I have one 32-ounce package of those, and they're slightly thawed. And to this one, I'm going to add 1 can of cream of chicken soup. And this one has 1 cup of sour cream. And I have 1 cup of shredded cheddar. It's going to go in. Half a cup of diced onion. Salt and pepper to taste. And I have 1 stick of butter that I've melted. It's going to go in there. And I have my sprayed 9x13 that's ready. So I want to mix these up really well and put this in my 9x13. Now this one does have cornflakes on the top, so I'll show you how I'm going to do those in just a second. So I get this mixed. Some people like to buy the hash browns with the peppers and onions already in it, and you can do that if you want to. Or you could put your own peppers in it if you, green peppers, red peppers. But since I'm taking this to an event and I don't know what people like, we'll just leave the peppers out. Put this in the straight pan. Okay, on this one I have taken 2 cups of cornflakes and I crushed those just a little bit. You don't want to pulverize them, but you do want them crushed up. I'm going to put those in a bowl. And then I've melted a half a stick of butter that I'm going to pour over these and mix that in. And then I'll put this on top of my hash brown casserole. Now on this one, this is the one that bakes a little bit longer. This one might take up to 1 hour and 10 minutes, but again, you're going to look for those cornflakes to be browning and a nice bubbly potato mixture. Okay. those are our 3 potato casseroles, and I will show you what they look like after they're done baking. Thanks for joining us for this session of Cooking with Some Friends. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And find us on Facebook at Cooking with Some Friends.